Hi and welcome to the Gadget Show Web TV. Now each week John checks out the hottest tech and here's his latest first look.
This is Panasonic's new top-of-the-line consumer camcorder, the TM900. It's a successor to camcorders that have come out rather well in Gadget Show tests in the past, the TM300 and the TM700. Improvements on this model, a larger 3.5-inch touchscreen, which looks very good actually, improved image stabilization, and it's compatible with 3D. More of that later. It's got many of the strong points that the old TM700 had. It's got a good 12x zoom lens. It's got lots of manual control, in particular this customizable ring around the lens. It's got a microphone socket, a headphone socket, excellent image quality, including the ability to shoot in full 1080p at 50 frames per second. It also has a few of the disadvantages of the old TM700. The internal cooling fan's a bit noisy and it can be picked up by the internal microphone if you're recording, say, an interview in quiet surroundings. Also, the automatic white balance can be a bit dodgy at times, particularly if you're under sort of energy-saving lights or even sometimes on bright sunny days. Again, you can get around it by doing a manual white balance, but I think you'll find yourself needing to do that a bit more frequently than you would do with some of its rivals. It doesn't, however, mar what's essentially really one of the best consumer camcorders you can get. And now, of course, it comes with 3D. Now, the camcorder doesn't have 3D built in. You have to buy an additional 3D attachment, which costs just under £300. There also fits on a number of other Panasonic camcorders. It works by splitting the image. It's got a couple of lenses in there, and it records a left-hand and a right-hand image on different halves of the sensor. You can get a bit of a hit on the resolution because you split the image in two, and the light goes down as well, which affects the exposure. And there are lots of controls you can't use, like the camera zoom, for example. So you really are restricted in what you can shoot. It's slightly fiddly to set up. I mean, there's not a case of instantly deciding you want to shoot in 3D. You've got to attach the adapter to the camcorder's filter thread at the front and go through a calibration process. The screen flips up and you sort of move the crosshairs so as to match the up and down and right and left images to give you a proper 3D image. To test the 3D capabilities, I took to the street to shoot some traffic. The results showed that the camcorder gave a fairly strong 3D effect, with a real distinction between the foreground and background. And it copes well with movement too. Though in the Gadget Show office with lower light levels, the image wasn't quite as good. Basically, cramming two images onto one sensor comes at a price, as the resolution is reduced and noise levels in lower light are increased. But all in all, I was very impressed. Would I actually buy the TM900 purely for its 3D performance? I'm not sure, because it is still very much an early adopter's 3D video camera. I'm sure in the near future you won't have to go through a calibration process. You'll be able to retain more of the camera's functions like zooming when you're in 3D mode. However, it's still comforting to know that there is the 3D option available if you need it. Of course, you don't actually need it, because even in 2D, the TM900 is one of the best consumer camcorders currently available.